Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Zips Weekly with head basketball coach John Groce, brought to you all season long by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, University of Akron basketball fans, they're still celebrating after Friday night's big win over arch rival Kent State, and for good reason. Right now, the Zips are the Mid-American Conference regular season champions and the #1 seed in the postseason tournament up in Cleveland, which will kick off on Thursday, March 13th. The Zips will play the first game at 11 o'clock. And Coach, congratulations on a great win. And I've been around, unfortunately I'm old, I've been around for a long time. I have seen a lot of great games, a lot of games that have great atmosphere. That game Friday night, for what was at stake and who we beat, that's got to be at the top.
No, it was a phenomenal environment. I thought our home court advantage has been strong all year. I thought it was tremendous on Friday night. You know, before we get going, we need to congratulate our baseball team on a phenomenal win over Purdue.
Yes.
Home run in the last inning there to win the game, as well as our men's track and field team. They won the indoor MAC championships. And then our women's swimming and diving team also won the MAC championship as Brian Parisi continues his dynasty. He'd probably be upset knowing that I called it that on air, but that's basically what it is. He's done just a tremendous job. So congrats to all those student athletes and coaches. Big weekend for the Zips. But back to the environment, I thought it was off the chain. I mean, it was very impactful. It was a huge part of the win on Friday night.
I looked down after the game, Coach, and it's always fun to celebrate after a big win, but you did it with everybody that was so close to the program, friends, family, support group. They were all there cutting down the net.
Yeah, we tried to get everybody up there. It's a total team effort. I felt bad. We had like 15 managers that we were trying to move it along. I know you guys were waiting for us to get to radio. We were trying to get to media, and I promised those guys they'll all get a piece of the net. But, you know, tried to the best of our ability to get everybody up there that has something to do with this, and we probably missed some people. A couple had already left. But, yeah, just thankful for all the support, gratitude, you know, that we have for each other, I think is huge. We're so thankful for every role, all the roles that everybody plays within the organization. And we challenge everybody to be an NBA All-Star in their role, and we have that. People have no idea, I think, at times what it takes to win. They just get to see the game, which is fine. But there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have a lot to do with being able to have consistent success. So to be able to celebrate that with all those people on Friday night, as well as our family and some of our closest friends, was very special.
Yeah, we mentioned a few minutes ago, Coach, you win the regular season championship. You get the #1 seed in the postseason tournament. That's all big, but that win over Kent is always nice.
Yeah, anytime, obviously, you can win a rivalry game, it's special. It means a lot to a lot of different people. And it was a hard-fought game. Obviously, they led for 29 minutes. I felt like they were playing the best of any teams in the league coming into the game over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and there's some others that have played well. They had won 6 out of 7, and the one they lost was an overtime game. There was a bank shot at the end of regulation in that one that forced overtime. You know, otherwise they could have been on an undefeated streak.
That's right.
Between game 1 and game 2. So they played really well again on Friday night. You know, led for the majority of the game. I thought it was going to take a great effort and our best game of the recent weeks to get it done. I felt like we played fairly well. I still think we can play better. But at the end of the day, with about 5 minutes to go, I thought the guys kind of willed themselves to win and make some big plays at both ends of the floor.
Well, the week started over in Muncie, Indiana against a good Ball State basketball team. And, Coach, we were coming off that tough loss at Ohio. You were looking for improvement. I think we got it.
Yeah, we definitely did. I thought our offense was clicking. I thought we played really well for about 32 minutes in this game. We didn't finish either half well. I felt like it should have been more like a 10 to 15-point win, but we've got to finish halves better. But obviously I thought our offense, ball movement was better, cutting was better, passing was better, fundamentally sound offensively throughout the course of the game. Our running game, we got out and ran, got out in transition. Guys made plays. Defensively, I thought we were pretty good as well. I mean, we were solid. They're a load to guard because they've got that balance of Peyton Sparks inside, which we did a great job on him, and then Jamari Hill on the outside. Two really, really talented offensive players. we didn't have a lot of answers for Hill driving the ball. I thought he
Yeah.
was terrific getting in the paint, but we made enough plays, and like I said, I thought we really responded well to what we went through in Athens, where Ohio played terrific and we didn't play as well as we talked about last week.
Yeah, see the Zips with a 25-18 lead early. Tavari Johnson got in foul trouble, Coach, and as always, you pointed at Shema Scott, and as always, he came in and played well for you.
He played really well. Sharon Young played well. You know, the good thing for us is we got a lot of depth and a lot of guys that can make plays with the ball for themselves and others. Nate's one of those, Shema, Sharon, Tavari. You know, we have multiple guys that have the ability to do that. So that was big, you're right, because he was in foul trouble and ended up getting 3 in the first half. And so didn't start him in the second half and didn't bring him in until about 4 or 5 minutes into the second half. But once again, he found a way to impact the game and made some plays, showing some maturity and not letting the foul trouble affect him.
Saw Nate Johnson with the deep 3. Before that, we saw Sharon Young with the deep 3, and then he'll hit a 2-pointer in the paint, Coach. He came off the bench and gave you some quality time.
Great minutes, great contributions from everybody, really. And that's been our story all year. I mean, you don't know who's going to give you what on a given night in terms of the production piece, because it's based on how they play us defensively, our unselfishness. It could be anyone's night. And, you know, obviously we needed all 10 of them to add value to get the road win in Muncie.
Yeah, we had an 8-point lead, I think, at halftime, Coach, and then Ball State doesn't quit. They come back late in that game and make it interesting.
They do, and made some plays. Certainly give them credit. I thought we also weren't real sharp late in the game. Press offense, game management, just focus and awareness there. But a great lesson for us, because you're getting those opportunities moving forward. You know, as February finished up and now we're in March. So, you know, hopefully that a great learning lesson for the guys there in terms of end of game finishing.
We saw Tavari Johnson with that drive on the right block. He came in after being in foul trouble, Coach, and I think he pretty much put the team on his shoulders for about a 6 or 7 minute period there.
Yeah, he can really score, obviously, and make plays. He's so skilled and gifted and can finish with either hand, can really finish at all 3 levels. Makes him a really gifted offensive player, and then he can pass in pick and roll. So he's makes decisions in transitions, whether it's a full court game or half court game. That really doesn't affect Tavari. So very gifted offensive player.
There's a handshake with a friend of yours, Coach Lewis, and we had to hit some free throws to put it away late in the game.
Yeah, we did. We had to make some plays at the end, but no doubt about it. Yeah, I have great appreciation and respect for Michael and the job he does. His team is really tough, competitive, physical, and they execute well. They really scream the heck out of you. So it was a challenge for sure, and you know, our guys made enough plays to get the win.
They sure did. Zips win at 87-82, and Coach, Ball State, one of those teams, there was a log jam down in that lower half of the MAC as far as she's getting to Cleveland. That was a big game for them.
No, they're all big games right now as everyone's fighting to get into Cleveland. You know, I hope we get to the point, and I've been very open about this, that we can get every team to the conference tournament. You know, that's just my opinion. I think we need to get that done, you know, and or create more conference games.
Okay.
So there's more, you know, right now the schedule's so random and it's imbalanced.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I hate it when teams are that even like that with an imbalanced schedule and everyone not having the opportunity to go. You know, to me, that's, you know, I wish it was a little bit different, but I don't make those decisions. And, but yeah, they're a very good team. And there's a lot of teams that are playing well right now in that range you're talking about that, you know, it's going to come down, unfortunately, I think, very possibly to some tiebreakers right there. So, you know, fortunately for us, you know, our guys have taken care of business and we kind of know where we're slotted and what time we play. And biggest thing is we got to finish strong this last week and get some momentum going into the conference tournament.
Exactly. We've talked a little bit already about the big win over Kent State. We're going to take a break and come back and talk a little bit more about it right after this.
Leaving a legacy starts with surrounding yourself with people who want the best for you and your family. At Wentz Financial Group, we understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to long-term financial success. We value the responsibility and opportunity to manage the hopes and dreams of all our customers at all points in their journey. Start your legacy today with Wentz Financial Group. Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly with head basketball coach John Groce. Right now, let's go back to Friday night. 5,000 fans jammed into the jar as they take on the Zips in Kent State. And Coach, somebody told me a little thing about you. They got there early Friday night. You're running around the track. Is that how you kind of worked out the nerves?
Yeah, it was a little bit later than normal, but I usually do that for home games. Try to work out and take care of myself.
Fans were lined
I don't
up.
do it every day, but I try.
There you go. Fans were lined up early. Students, I heard of some of them were out there at 8 in the morning, Coach, to make sure they got a good seat.
Yeah, it was an incredible environment. The students were great. Student section was huge, down low as well as up top. You could feel them and hear them throughout the game. I know our guys appreciated it. And they've been great all year, as I said earlier, whether it's the Enrique Freeman night, Miami, Toledo, Ohio, obviously this one on Friday. So fans have been great, man. We appreciate them. A big part of, obviously, our home court consistent success has been their impact on the game.
Zips got up early, Coach. You're up 7-5, 12-5. Bowen Hardman off the bench hit a couple big three-pointers. Then Kent goes on an 8-point run to take their first lead.
Yeah, I thought the biggest thing in the game that I took away from it, and I've obviously watched it since as well, is, we get down 10 and come back. Get down 9, come back. Get down 8 after the flagrant call. Get down 8, come back. So I thought our resiliency was on full display. The character of our guys, I thought, really showed throughout the course of the game.
There's Shema Scott hitting a little floater in the paint. Here comes Nate Johnson off the window, up and in.
I thought Nate was absolutely terrific in the game. I hope people understand. He's such a good player. Obviously now that we've won it outright, I can go ahead and say that because I think he's earned he and Tavari consideration basically for MVP of the league. It's tough to choose between either one of them because they've been so impactful for us. But both those guys have been pretty consistent throughout conference play. The thing that's unique about Nate, getting back to Nate, is that he guards the other team's best perimeter player every night while also rebounding, while also getting steals, while also scoring, and providing us a kind of a calming influence, which Tavari does as well. Both of them have been absolutely terrific for us. But yeah, Nate, back to Nate, I think he's, obviously established himself at both ends as a two-way player. And you don't see many of those. Guys can certainly battle at one end or the other, and they may have a strong suit on one end versus the other. But the fact that he plays both ends the way he plays both ends, Nate's, really, obviously a really special player and a big part of what we do.
There's a big sequence, Coach.
Yeah, I thought the offensive rebound by Okonkwo changed the energy level of the building. Obviously, he plays extremely hard. He's always done that. I love that about him. When we recruited him, I saw him on film. I remember yelling into Dustin's office like, hey, I love this guy. This guy plays like his pants are on fire every second he's out there. And that's what he's done to the point where sometimes we have to take him out, Joe, after 2 or 3 minutes because he's out of gas.
Yes.
And he kind of recharges his battery, and then we're able to put him back in. But I love that about James. He knows one way to play, and that's with physicality and toughness and effort, basically every second he's out there. And I have great respect for that. Big play there by Lyles, putting his body in a play to win and help us win the game. Long possession there where Tavari, the guy, shoots the gap, and he finishes with the Kyrie same hand, same foot that we do in skill development on the layup. And so that was a big play. But guys just made plays late. Here we get a deflection. We get out and run. Great pistol screen there. We cut the low with Amani for the dunk. Great pass by Shema. Shema's been such a terrific passer all year. We talk about guys like Tavari and Nate being in consideration for all league or first team or MVP of the league. Shema is very similar in that, he's a guy, in my opinion, who's, I don't know if there's been a better guy off the bench all year in our league than him. And obviously he plays starters minutes, and he gives us such a impact off the bench where we just keep going.
Yeah.
We don't go backwards. In fact, sometimes we play even better.
Sure.
A lot of times that's happened. And so he's been a huge part of that, has been our whole bench. You know, Sharon's been that way. He's given us a boost. Bowen, Amani, Marvin, strength in numbers has kind of been our mantra. And our guys truly have bought into that and played that way and invested and committed to that. And it takes some sacrifice to do that, to have that mentally, as well as your emotional, being able to handle that. Because there's times where guys come in and out of the game, I'm sure they want to play more.
Sure.
But our guys are always thinking about the team first. They care about each other. They enjoy playing the game together. I really do believe they play for each other. And that's been a huge difference for us.
Zips get a huge win over Kent State. Always fun to knock off the Golden Flashes. May see them again in Cleveland, but we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back and announce our Players of the Week right after this.
Leaving a legacy starts with surrounding yourself with people who want the best for you and your family. At Wentz Financial Group, we understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to long-term financial success. We value the responsibility and opportunity to manage the hopes and dreams of all our customers at all points in their journey. Start your legacy today with Wentz Financial Group. Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.
The amount of experience you can gain from the University of Akron can't be overstated, whether it's designing components, manufacturing parts, and then actually just going and testing and driving a race car. How many people get to say they do that in college,
I've had amazing opportunities here at the University of Akron. I feel surrounded by love, by support. I know that I can be successful here, and that was always my goal. So I know that the people here are here to help me.
Well, each week at this time, we announce our Players of the Week, and as always, it was a tough decision because, as Coach has alluded to all season long, you can give it to about 1 of 10 players. They've all played well. But this week, we're going to give it to Tavari Johnson. He got in foul trouble against Ball State, came off the bench, and ends up with 21 points, 2 assists. He got in foul trouble, as we said. Then he came back with a lot of points in the second half. Then against Kent State, 16 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 rebound. So he did it in the scoring column both games last week, Coach.
Yeah, no, he's so gifted offensively. We talked about it earlier, Joe. I mean, he's dynamic in pick and roll. He's great in transition, great in the half court. He can shoot it off the catch and the bounce. He can finish in the non-rim 2 area. At the rim, he can finish with either hand. He has the ability to pass with either hand. He's really gifted offensively and is a huge part of what we do and had a great week for us.
Yeah, he's been to the MAC tournament a couple times, Coach, and that's a big value because he's experienced now. He's been there. He's a leader.
Yeah, we've got obviously him, Nate, Shema, Amani. Those guys have all been there in those environments like that. So that'll be good for us. At the end of the day, I always tell them, man, it's who executes the best and plays the best that day, whether it's a regular season game or whether it's a tournament game. So we've got to continue to focus on 1-0. That's our mentality. What's the most important thing in our program? Whatever we have next.
Exactly.
And that's how we, go about our business culturally, and we'll do the same thing. That won't change as we lead into this last week here, and then obviously the following week start conference tournament play.
Yeah. Whose Stock is Rising, brought to you each week by Bud Wentz and the Wentz Financial Group. We went with Seth Wilson, Coach. Maybe the offensive numbers aren't there every game, but what he puts into the defense, what he does with the intangibles, makes him a guy whose stock's on the rise.
No, Seth's a great story, amazing story. Went from obviously a guy that had a DNP to a starter. It just gives us, first of all, he keeps us loose.
Yeah.
Seth has a great way about him, great swagger and confidence about him that I think he injects that into our team. And then he gives us some poise, I think, and some confidence, and he's always positive. And he's our best communicator. Defensively, he echoes what I want out there. He's an extension of kind of what we've done, and he's learned that very quickly because he hasn't been here very long. Cares about winning, takes care of the ball, takes good shots, makes winning plays for the Zips. So, I'm thrilled to have Seth. I said the same thing about Hankerson when he was here. I wish we had him for more years than just this year. I feel that way both about him and Gray. But we get what we get. The path's the path. And we're blessed to have both those guys, both Gray and Wilson.
Against Kent State, he had 8 points and 2 rebounds, did an outstanding job, and one of the better players in the league in Von Cameron Davis, and that was a tough matchup.
Yeah, Seth did a good job against him in both games, and he's a tough cover, as you said. Joe, he's very physical, and he can play both inside and outside. So one of the better players in our league, and Seth battled him. Obviously, Seth's pretty physical and put together, and so he did a good job of battling Von Cameron.
Yeah. The regular season isn't over. That's right. We'll go to Toledo on Tuesday, back home Friday to take on Buffalo. We're back with the Skyler reports and those 2 teams right after this.
Leaving a legacy starts with surrounding yourself with people who want the best for you and your family. At Wentz Financial Group, we understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to long-term financial success. We value the responsibility and opportunity to manage the hopes and dreams of all our customers at all points in their journey. Start your legacy today with Wentz Financial Group. Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Well, our Sky Report each week brought to you by the Akron Hilton Fairlawn Hotel. They've been with us all season long. Our thanks to them. Tuesday night, the Zips go to Toledo to take on the Rockets. And, Coach, that's always been a tough place to win up there.
It has been. There's no question about it. It's been a while, dating obviously into Keith and our tenure here. And they've been, in part, they've been really good.
They have been.
That's part of it. Todd does a good job. They've had good players and really, really good teams. And it's been challenging. We'll have to be ready to go. They're coming off a loss to Buffalo, who we'll talk about here in just a second, who just continues to get better playing those young guys. But we'll have to be ready to go. Each game's so different, and we got to check our maturity as we get ready to go on Tuesday night, against Toledo. We're coming off the win against Kent. That's always challenging emotionally, physically, and we've got to be able to be mature and have the right mindset going into this one on Tuesday. And then obviously we get senior night Friday
Yes.
Against Buffalo and get to honor 3 really just special guys in Seth Wilson, Evan Wilson, and Isaiah Gray. So,
Yeah.
And we mentioned earlier, Joe, how great the crowds have been. I think our guys have earned that right. Hopefully that, we'll have a bunch of people in the building on Friday night to honor those 3 guys in our last home game.
Yeah, it should be an emotional night for those guys playing their final game at the Jar. And you mentioned the crowds. It's family night Friday night. If you want to bring your family, special $10 tickets, give the Akron ticket office a call. Hope they have another huge crowd there Friday night for Buffalo. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off, the final game, Coach, before the Zips head to Cleveland.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how fast the season has gone. And these shows always go so quick, too.
They
You
do.
do a great job, Joe, as well as our producers. And, we're appreciative of that. We have a great time with the show. So thanks for all that you do. We don't say that enough. And obviously appreciate Wentz Financial supporting the show. And, all of our sponsors do a great job. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. So, but we're excited. We get a chance, obviously, to build on the first championship here. I talked about trying to gain some momentum coming into this week. 2 different challenges. Toledo on the road. Obviously, road game's a challenge. They've got good players. They're well coached. And then we have already talked about Buffalo. They've played more freshmen than anyone this year, and they've just continued to get better. I saw that when we were playing some common opponents on film earlier in the week, and then obviously it came to fruition when they had a great win against Toledo. So we'll have our hands full this week, and we'll need to play well.
Coach, congratulations again on the big win over Kent State. We'll see you back here next week with more Zips Weekly. For the coach, I'm Joe Dunn. Always remember, go Zips.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.